Okay, okay. Glad to finally meet you. Can we get acquainted?
You are most welcome. My name is Dominic Kidzu, currently the special advisor to the governor on information.
Very much.
You're welcome.
You're a veteran journalist and also a political leader. What have the both experience been for you?
Experiences have been most useful because for me it seemed like crossing the social boundary. As a journalist, mostly, especially when I was in Lagos, I was a critic of politicians. In fact, you don't need to read the kind of things I used to write about politicians. And then the road to life finally just took me across the border, and I found myself to be one of them. So now my perspective is more rounded, it's more wholesome, because I've tasted both ends.
As a special advisor to the governor on Cross River on information, you are also a member of Cross River State Policy Advisory Committee. Can you please let us in on what the committee is all about?
Well, I don't think I'm a member of the Policy Advisory Committee. The Policy Advisory Committee does not take in members of the State Executive Council. I don't know if the Commissioner of Finance sits on that committee, but I'm not a member.
There have been agitation by the youth which have given rise to NSAS protests. Do you think their demands were legitimate? If so, what is your advice to them?
The demands were more than legitimate. I would say that those demands are fundamental. The demands are the birthrights of these youth. The demands ought, in fact, to have been made 20 years ago. In fact, NSAS is, for me, an embodiment of all that is wrong with federal Nigeria, and in particular, with the governance thereof. NSAS is only emblematic of what is wrong with Nigeria. The youth of this country have had a very raw deal from the government of the Federation, and even in the state. I'll give you an example. I graduated in 1988. Between 1988 and 2020, I've had 17 jobs. We used to pick and drop jobs. When I was in Lagos, I'll be working in this day, and Guardian will approach you and offer you something on top of your salary. The next month, you report at the Guardian. You report at the British Council, NGOs, international NGOs. There were limitless opportunities for self-expression, for employment, and for livelihood. That is no longer there. Now, how did that come about? It's misgovernance. And why do we have misgovernance? Because we have old people who have lost touch with the present generation, with the movement of societies across the world, sitting at the helm of affairs in Nigeria. What do you think President Buhari would, how is he going to understand the agitations of the youth? It's very difficult. Now the ball returns to the youth, because it's the youth who are the boys on election day. These boys should be boys for themselves and give us a new perspective, a new narrative, and a new leadership.
Thank you very much. The protest in Calabar was hijacked by hoodlums and miscreants who vandalized, looted, and burnt public and even private firms. What is your take on the whole issue? I
condemn that, completely condemn it. And it's because it bastardizes the legitimate aspirations of the youth. The criminality that took over is partly, I find the police partly responsible for it, because they all withdrew. I spoke to you that gunmen took my phone on Wednesday. Wednesday was, I think, 22nd or 21st. And I went to the police station and discovered that all of them were in the station. They had received an order not to step outside the station. Now, when the legitimate security withdraws, the illegitimate criminals will take over the city. And that's what happened. And that's why they had the leeway, they have the ability and the time and comportment to wreak the havoc that was wreaked in Calabar. I wrote a press release recently where I said even 10 billion naira is not enough to repair the damage that has been done to Calabar. And this is a state that is struggling even to pay salaries. We've done ourselves a very bad turn in this.
Okay, thank you very much. In your opinion, would you say the older generation has done well or have failed the younger generation?
There has been an interregnum of the older generation. Let me tell you, from the days of the struggle for independence, Awolowo was around between 20 and 30. So was Zik. So was Antonio Nahoro. So was Sadrana of Sokoto. The Prime Minister Tafawa Balewa was was about 35. The oldest person that became head of state was Agu Ironsi, who was just 40 or 42. After that, it was young people. Gowon was 32. Now, there have been governors as well. Donald Duke was 29, 30, and so on. Amechi was young. Bola Ahmed Tinubu was young. They were young. The octogenarians actually stayed, they come back when democracy returns, especially at the federal level. Obasanjo's age is indeterminate. Buhari's age is indeterminate. But when you see them walk, you know that these people should be at home in retirement. They stay, they come back, and they just muddled up everything. That is one. The second is the reasoning and the conduct of the current administration of Muhammadu Buhari. This government is arrogant. This government is insensitive. This government does not feel what the people of Nigeria feel. And they have played the old trick using ethnicity, using religion. Would it surprise you that while the youths of the South were saying end SARS, the youths of the North were saying continue SARS? Because they played it. They said to them, these southern people, the people of the South want to drive us from power. So they bought that, and they are always buying that. So for me, it is important that the youths of the North close ranks with the youths of the South, in order for their own tomorrow. We are fading out. In order for them to design a good tomorrow for themselves and indeed for their children.
Well, according to some government statements, it will take over a year and billions of naira to fix the damage. What step the government need to fix this damage?
Well, the revenue stream for Nigeria is federal. All revenues are collected by the federal government and given to the South. I think that the President of the Federal Republic need to come after an assessment of the damage, because the assessment in Calabar is not the same as in Loring. It's not the same, so it's not omnibus. The federal authorities have to come up with credible figures about the losses that each state suffered. And by fiat, I think the federal government can do something to ameliorate and assuage the sufferings that the states are going through now.
As a veteran leader, what is your advice to the youth of Nigeria, youth of Cross River State, and the youth of where you come from, the local government you come from?
My advice to youths all over the country, not with specificity about Bukit, is that my generation has used the youth enough. It's time for them to wise up. There was a small cliche, I think that came up in 2015 election, where they say, our Mumu don't do, correct?
Yeah.
Our Mumu don't too much, our Mumu don't do. The youths have been Mumus for a long time. Brilliant people, resourceful people, many of them creative. Look at what you are doing. Creativity, that is the in thing now. These guys can run this country, but we use them. Give them 10,000, give them 3,000. They go to radio, they go to the TV, they go get their friends to beat up people and win elections for the same people who are putting you down. I think the youths of this country should gravitate towards themselves and galvanize a political movement that will take power for them. Nobody is going to give the youths power. They have to take it, but responsibly, not by violence.
Finally, sir, any words of encouragement to Gliss TV magazine?
Well, Gliss TV, this is wonderful. This is the second time I'm speaking to you. I guess at a particular wedding, I saw, it wasn't you, one of your ladies spoke to me. I think this is a very beautiful idea. In fact, I'm taken aback. I don't know your background, all of you who are running this thing, what you are doing now. I think you should continue. From little acorns, even forests can grow. Who knows where you will go. I recall when we started This Day newspapers. This Day newspapers was started in a 2-bedroom flat in Ribado Road, Ikoyi, Banduka Baigben. This Day has become a behemoth. At a point, it spread even up to South Africa. Now he has started Arise TV. So I expect that my advice for you is to keep working at what you are doing, but to look for funding so that you can expand the frontiers of your business. Otherwise, it will remain at one place, and then the value will not be known.
Thank you very much, sir.